let's just get into it. Let's see what this is. I do think this is probably going to get a bit political, especially with regards to gaming politics. So you'll have to excuse if I get a bit passionate about this one. Right, let's go. Let's begin.
Come and went, and with it, a slew of new games were shown off during the show, from Total War 40K to a new game from the Ascent developers called No Law. This is the first time in a long time I actually feel pretty good coming out of an award show like this. Usually it's a ton of small side-scrolling indie fighters or Japanese uwu games and a bunch of games like Wukong or Wolong or fucking Mahjong and every other game that looks identical to Phantom Blade Zero. No shade though, I just really wish that FPS fans or, guys who like, games that look a little bit darker, I wish we would get fed like these other genres. But this year we actually were shown a ton of games that
this year at the Game Awards was phenomenal. There was a lot of stuff that I considered to be top tier, to be really, really, really good. Especially Divinity. Divinity, I think, is now on the radar and scope for everyone who was watching the Game Awards.
I'm actually looking forward to. Jeff
Seriously,
had a banger of a game to start the show with Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. But what everybody is talking about today is how Jeff ended the show, where usually we're greeted with
Jeff, yeah, old Jeffy boy really likes to rev us up when it comes to the last sort of announcement, if you will, and then he drops the garbage. The garbage.
A spectacle. Last year was Intergalactic, and in years previous, we get shown games that are usually hyped across the internet. Elder Scrolls 6. Everybody expected Half-Life 3. Like,
yeah, dude. Like, oh man. Everyone wanted Half-Life 3. Everyone wanted Elder Scrolls 6. It looked like Elder Scrolls.
Show is always the stamp at the end of a night to show something that everybody is usually looking forward to. This,
like, I think for Highguard in general, right? The reception would not have been so bad if Jeff didn't just absolutely hype the ever-loving fuck out of it at the start of the final wee bit of the show. I just think it would have gone a whole lot better.
Year, a little bit different. And now if you're listening to what Jeff Keighley said leading up to the reveal, you would think that we're about to get our dicks blown off.
Sometimes our last reveal at the Game Awards is a teaser for something years and years away.
True.
Not tonight.
Okay.
Our final world premiere.
Bro, you cannot tell me this does not look like some sort of Elder Scrolls, or no, Elder Scrolls definitely. Right.
Comes from 61 members of the team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall. 4 years ago, the principals founded a new...
You can, not the obvious ones, but when he says this, you could hear the audience go, like an actual gasp. There was
independent studio with the hopes of pushing the shooter
no one's heard from these guys in years.
New original game.
A shooter?
They've done it in complete secrecy, which is even more amazing because the game is very deep into development.
A shooter? Pushing the shooter genre forward, being made by former Titanfall devs? Holy shit.
Yeah.
And we're greeted with this.
Welcome to Highguard.
Highguard. Okay.
Now,
Highguard?
just pause. I was watching a video literally about Highguard, about this topic, and someone pointed it out to me, and I think to the streamer. They said high is equal to over, and when you guard, you watch. It's just Overwatch,
And
bro.
right here is when I realized that this game was fucked.
Also, insert generic NPC number 21. Also, like the.
As I saw Buddy's haircut, I knew what we were looking at.
To lands uncharted.
All right, I'm already not feeling good about it.
I venture without fear. And ride without rest. For coin or for cause, I fight to the end.
Like, lads, this does not inspire confidence. Like, that was, like, here's the thing: the cinematics, the trailer in general is actually very high quality, and its production is very good. But it is shit, bro. High Guard is awful. And when you're putting, like, here's the thing. When you're chucking out names as Jeff Keighley, because, like, here's the thing, a lot of people meme on Jeff Keighley, okay? When Jeff Keighley says something, you fucking listen. That's the thing. People like to meme on Jeff, and, you know, like, Jeff gets a lot of shit. At the end of the day, he is, like, the biggest of the biggest when it comes to the video game world. He, in more ways than one, is the face of video gaming. Do you know how many views that fucking show pulls? More than the Super Bowl for your Americans. It pulled about 150 million last year. It was like 170 or something this year. That is fucking insane. So when Jeff is talking, and he's talking up these people, when he's talking about, oh, the people from Apex Legends who also made Titanfall, a beloved franchise that hasn't been touched in yesterdecade, right? Like, these are not small words. They're not. These are fighting words, Jeff, and you are slinging these around. I mean, it's no wonder people are upset about it, bro.
Bringing the heat.
Light belongs to me.
Like,
Moving
you
into
can
the attack.
look at his face, you poor man.
This is why I laugh when people say the game we made was generic. You know what I mean?
Strike fast. Sea power coming in.
Holy fucking shit, man. Yeah, no, the absolute state of FPS, dude.
Oh. This character is the most interesting one by far, and the fact that he is only barely interesting is really saying a lot.
Is it a MOBA?
I am the coming storm.
Oh no, man. Hero shooter?
Okay. What the fuck? Oh. Like, Okay, I want everyone here just to ignore the weapon he's using, okay? Does this armor and everything about him not scream barbarian, big, strong, fucking the tank of tank? Why are we using a pistol? We should be pulling out some guns. We should be feeling a tad more patriotic than the Colt 45.
I am a warden, and this is my
I'm not gonna lie, the haircut automatically set. I was like, yeah, no, it's over. I could tell instantly, dude. Another generic magenta carbon copy slop Concord Realm Royale.
Bro, it's fucking awful. It generally is. Like, it has the same vibe as nearly every fucking battle royale out there, just slightly tuned to Apex Legends, and it's... What are we doing here, Jeff? Come on, man.
Paladin's MOBA hero shooter blended into one incredibly disliked game across the internet.
Rightio, Mr. Big Fry. Let's...
Going into an office, working 50 hours a week, having that structure.
Bruh, piss off, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about High Guard, a brand new game from old Titanfall and Apex Legends developers. They went and made their own studio.
They shouldn't have.
And they put this out. A free-to-play PvP raid shooter where players will ride, fight, and raid as wardens, arcane gunslingers sent to fight for control of a mythical continent. Now, Jeff also made it a point that, we don't have to wait long to try this game out. It's releasing January 26th, 2026.
I'm going to immediately say something for you future aspiring game devs out there. As someone who loves to play video games, never compare yourself to things you don't know if you're going to be able to live up to. Let's give you an example. Me comparing a game that I want to make, let's just say I want to make a random, I don't know, game, I don't know, yeah, let's say it's a 2D roguelike, Souls-like, like Hollow Knight, right? And then I put in the title, inspired by Hollow Knight. I am facing career suicide, and I'll tell you why. You, as a human, now have automatically aligned your thinking that this game is going to be at the level of Hollow Knight because of that. Now, listen, that might not be the case, right? That just straight up, that might not be the case for some people. A lot of people hear things like this and they align their beliefs like this. If you want to say, hey, this is going to be like Hollow Knight or like a Metroid Man or something like that, you need to let the audience discern that for themselves. Because if you say let's say you make a Souls-like, and then you say inspired by Dark Souls 3, that is a cliff for you to climb now. You have made an impossible challenge. And it's not entirely your fault that you've done this. You might be inspired by Dark Souls 3, but because you have said that and done that, there is going to be direct competition and comparison between the two. It's just how it is.
Unless it gets delayed, but that's about 6 weeks away. You go to their Steam page, and we don't really know much about what the game is. Their Steam page says that you have to battle rival warden crews for possession of the Shield Breaker, then break into and destroy the enemy base to secure territory in this all-new breed of shooter. So we have a brand new style of game. It looks like a multi-stage objective PvP shooter. I'm not even sure how many people are going to be in the game, but when you look at the conversation surrounding Highguard, it ain't looking good. Their community hub, now granted, I will say the community hub, usually a cesspool for shit like this. My God, the amount of times I have read Dead on Arrival is fucking insane. Now, I have been messaged saying that the developers are banning people for legitimate criticism. I gotta say, I've read some of the shit that
is the most pussy shit. That is... Okay, look. Here's what you all need to do. And this is genuine information, okay? Literal, genuine information. Follow what Sean Murray did when No Man's Sky got absolutely fucking destroyed by everyone. You need to follow exactly what that man did. You shut the fuck up. You don't speak to your audience. You don't talk to anyone. You let one person handle all of that shit. And you get the fuck back on with your job, which is to make a good video game. Because clearly you got the talent. If you guys are bringing up things like Titanfall and Apex Legends, a successful franchise and one of the most successful battle royales, period, you have talent to make this work. But this is not it. You cannot go off and then immediately start criticizing your fucking audience. That is not how to do this, right? Like, in any situation, the people who you're trying to please should not feel as though their ability to express their concern, perhaps sometimes a bit too over-the-top concern, it borderlines really just harassment. They should not feel that their opinions cannot be heard. And it is suicide for a game development studio to pull a maneuver like that. Like banning your audience, unless they're saying some heinous shit, banning your audience is a bad move. A really bad move. If you want to keep the devs all happy, you do not let them see any of this shit. You tell them to just get on with it. Hunker down, get the game finished, make it as good as you possibly can. Follow Sean Murray, honestly.
People are posting over there. It's a fucking disaster. Telling the developers that they have a fetish for humiliation for putting the trailer out will most likely get you banned. It's funny, don't get me wrong,
yeah, that is
but it will most
funny.
likely get you banned. When you look at the trailers around the internet, every single place has massive dislikes. The IGN trailer is sitting at 15,000 downvotes, 2.1K up. So realistically, I think most people have already written this game off as a complete disaster, especially because Jeff hyped this game up as like from the creator.
That is the majority of the problem. Is Jeff, we have not seen anything like this, dude. It's like he's going to announce the fifth coming of Christ, right? And we haven't even had the second or the third or fourth. He's about to unlock Head and Shoulders. And cars and boots and 2-in-1 is now 17-in-1 according to Jeff. Jeff. Here's the thing, I don't blame Jeff at all for what he did because he has a job to do and he does it phenomenally. But I think if these devs were the ones who paid for this to get in this position, which I very, very much do believe they probably are, Jeff, you should probably be a little bit more of an upstanding citizen in this regard. Because, here's the thing. Jeff is not dumb. Jeff is not stupid. Jeff knows video games very fucking well. He knows how they're made. He knows which ones succeed. He is a very well-known gamer. Okay, and when I say that, I mean internally. He has things running upstairs. Jeff, when you are getting requests for things, shall we say, you need to make sure, in my mind at least, that if these guys are coughing up $3-4 million, I don't know how much it costs to get a slot like that, but it'll be in the 7 digits, I imagine, no doubt. Um, I think you should just say this. I really don't think this is going to work, guys. And if they still push it, fine. And maybe that's what happened, you know? Maybe Jeff was just like, you know what? I've given you a warning. You want to go through with it anyway. Here you go. Right? But I think also, Jeff, your awards show suffers when stuff like this happens because you take on a bit of risk when you're doing this sort of advertising, um giving out or like lending others your sphere so that they can promote their products have to be top of the line in your regards, Jeff, because the problem is the Game Awards as a whole, and Midsummer Game Fest as well for that matter, are such a prestigious event in the gaming world that the games have to be top notch. They are You are advertising to us the games of next year that should essentially be winning next year's game of the year. That is why they're at the game of the year before it's even their time yet, or the year after, or whatever. There's many, many things that these games need to be doing, and I don't have the technical lingo or language to really tell you. But we need to fix this, Jeff.
Of Titanfall, and then we're given a game that I think like missed the mark by probably 6 or 7 years. They already saw what happened with Concord, so I can't imagine how they're feeling at the studio right now. And don't get me wrong, I genuinely feel for these developers because they have
Rightio. Apologies about that, folks. That is the father. Right. Let us continue.
clearly put some work in. It doesn't look like it's fucking, trash early access
No.
slop.
No,
It actually looks like some
exactly.
effort was put in. It just feels like the concept, it feels like the visuals, the actual art style, it's not hitting for people. And I think
I don't think it's just the visuals or the art style, because I would actually argue that the art style and visuals are quite polished. They actually look very, very nice. The problem is that for these kinds of games, your characters are your your ability to, how should we say, your ability to hold an audience. Let's take Overwatch for example. Overwatch's success came from two things. Its characters are extraordinarily marketable due to how attractive they are, and the other reason is that the Overwatch shorts and fan stuff and you know, obviously all the porn stuff as well. There's a huge amount of Overwatch gooning. An enormous amount. All of that added up gave Overwatch just the biggest buff of all time. I mean, alone the Overwatch shorts probably could have carried Overwatch for many years because they were just that good. And the characters had depth, and I think that's the difference these days between let's look at two games that are very similar, okay? Let's look at Overwatch, let's look at Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals and Overwatch do the same thing and succeed in the same way, but from two different ends. Overwatch started out by having to create very fleshed out characters that resonated with their audience. You had Soldier 76, Tracer, Winston, Widowmaker, Reaper. These base characters resonated with the audience. They were so well flushed out and they were set in a story, in a universe that the audience understood very well. Now, switch over to Marvel Rivals. All of that earlier laundry that Overwatch had to do didn't have to be done by Marvel Rivals. They just could say, hey, we're good. We've got our IP and we can just go ahead and use it because the Overwatch sphere didn't exist before, but Marvel Rivals obviously has existed for many a decade. And so they can just go straight through. The problem with High Guard is that there is nothing. There is zilch on these characters. I don't have any feeling for these characters whatsoever. I don't think they are particularly inspiring. I don't think they are particularly interesting. I don't think they have anything going for them that any of the Overwatch cast did. And that's the problem. You have to provide a storyline to your audience in a game where story does not take the front of the stage, right? I mean, for those of you who are around in 2016, how many of you remember the sheer quantity of Overwatch lore videos that were made back in the day? It was nuts.
Knew that from the first few seconds of the trailer, which is unfortunate. Now, this is obviously judging a game before anybody has really got their hands on it. I'm calling it Concord 2.0 based on the reception to the game's aesthetic and the overall negative sentiment around the game going into this launch in about a month's time. The one thing we can say that is different from this game versus Concord is the fact that this game is going to be free to play. Now, you look at Concord was a $40 game, but they did have a free-to-play beta weekend a couple of weeks before launch. Nobody played that either. So now we can actually look at a game. You know, everybody said, like, if Concord released free-to-play, it would have been super popular. Now we can actually see it. And I'm not saying this is Concord. Concord was more of like an arena-style shooter. What I'm saying is the reception to the art style, the aesthetic, the characters, the vibe, the actual game itself, it's being called Concord 2 fucking everywhere. So now we can actually see if all of the yap...
If your game gets compared to... It's fucking camera, hold on. There we go. If your game is getting compared to Concord, it might be time to reinvent the wheel, to be honest with you.
Changes if a game comes out at a solid price point, this one being free to play. Now we can actually see the stats. Are people going to give a shit? Are people just yapping to yap? Or is there merit in saying that the industry is fucking pushing back and are tired of these generic run-of-the-mill fucking...
Okay, look. Here's the problem with just the MOBA genre in general, okay? There's only so many times you can create a character before everyone's seen it already, right? The problem with MOBAs and shooters in general is that at the end of the day, put a bullet into the guy's head in front of you, and that's it. That's game. You can go about it as many ways as you want, but that is the baseline kit. Put the bullet in the guy's head. There's only so many times you put the bullet in the guy's head before you think, what the fuck am I doing? You know? Like, I mean, I will be blatantly blatantly honest with you guys here. If Overwatch was made today, in this day and age, I don't think it would see the same success as what it saw in 2016. And I think that's just because it was such a revolutionary title. Just straight up. And to hop on this point as well, actually, nah, we'll leave that.
Hero shooters that we seem to just keep getting shoved down our fucking throats. And of course, you have people on the other side of the fence defending the game saying,
Big Fry, you actually don't know what Concord looked like. This looks like nothing like Concord.
Bro. Oh, man. Oh.
They're the same picture.
Oh, man. Oh, man. It really is, though. Like, that's not even a joke. It just straight up is the same picture. Oh. Oh, no, 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 no.
it's fucking identical. I've been saying it for years, and I think this is the first time we can look at a Game Awards show. There was a lot of violence. There was some Star Wars games. There was some dark, gritty, cyberpunk-like shooter fighters. There was that game Gang of Dragon. There was a lot of games that I think appeal to our demographic for the first time in what feels like fucking forever. And then to end the show on this, I get it. I get why people, I don't get why.
Did that really just say comes a new breed of shoot? I forgot about. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, it's gone wrong, Chief.
People are upset and like attacking the developers. I don't think that's what we need to be doing here, but I get why people are completely writing this game off for simply existing. I totally get it. They have been shoved down our fucking throats for years now, and I think the pushback.
I mean, like, here's the thing. I fully agree with what he's saying. I think for this game to come back from this is going to, you know,
is just,
there we go. We're no longer being flashbanged. You're welcome. Is going to take a miracle. Okay, it is going to take. You need a rebirth of some kind. Something has to happen in order for this game to get anywhere. You are not going to be able to do this like as it currently is.
It's fucking insane. People have had enough of the same old tired fucking shit from the space. I'm not saying these guys are a AAA studio. I don't really know much about them, but I can assure you that they had conversations about their game during Concord. This game has been in development for 4 years, which means they watched Concord's launch. They watched what happened.
They watched Concord's launch and they shit themselves. That's exactly what happened.
They watched the pushback, and I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at that studio watching that game go out and go down, because Concord had a lot of high quality things going for it. Their cutscenes were fucking incredible. The actual animation quality, it was a solid piece of software, but that doesn't make it a fun game. That doesn't make it a game that appeals.
The software will only take you so far. Well fucking said. And that, again, my point still stands. Overwatch, with its cinematics and everything, was could carry it. But at the end of the day, we all played Overwatch because it was fun. It was a good time. It was interesting. And it was very, very creative in a time where, you know, MOBAs weren't really sort of the meta, if you will. Yeah, no complaints about that at all. Good take.
And honestly, I don't know how this game ends up at the end stamp of a Game Awards show.
Yeah, I don't think any of us
obviously they
do.
spent a shit ton of money to get there. I just don't get it. I want to know what you guys think. Do you care about High Guard? Are you interested? Let's have a conversation down below. My name is Big Fry. Make sure you guys go to gamersubs.gg, use code Big Fry for 10% off your order. Support me over on Patreon, patreon.com/Big Fry. We just did our after hours show last night. We got a live stream planned here next week before
Right,
Christmas. And I got more exclusive.
Good video. I'm gonna give everyone the link here. I'll make sure to add that to my clipboard so when this goes live I can add that to the thing. But I very much do agree with everything that this guy has said. This is a very, very good take from Big Fry here.